Hey everybody, Marianne and Tru-Knowing Holistics here. It is October 2nd, which of course means it is a new moon. This is a particularly potent new moon because it also carries the energies of a solar eclipse. This event is happening under the sign of Libra. Libra has to do with communication, with communion, with connection, and with relationships. It also has to do with looking at those patterns and relationships that we have with ourselves, the habits that we have, many of which are of beneficence to us and help to bring additional joy or lightness to our life. But we're all very much aware that there are some habits and patterns that are no longer of beneficence. Maybe they were ones that we picked up in earlier phases of our life that worked well now and do not work well now, that worked well then and don't work now. Part of the opportunity and the invitation of the new moon is to spend a little bit of time taking an honest inventory with compassion about where you're at. Where are you at in your relationship with yourself, with others? What are your strengths? Where are the places and spaces that things are working well for you? Honor them and celebrate them. In the places and spaces where things are perhaps not working well, or you are in awareness that there is a need or a request for change, maybe you haven't been able to make that change happen yet. Well, I'm happy to tell you that between the energies of the new moon and the solar eclipse, which will help carry us through the remainder of the month, and the fact that we are in October, the month where energetically it is much easier for our ascended ancestors to reach us and to help us. In addition to all of that, we have a really potent power animal stepping forth to work with us this month. I introduced to you the power animal for the month of October, which is the bat. The bat, small but mighty. And the bat is renowned throughout those who work with the power animals and their symbols and their energies as a very powerful, mighty little being. Bat is able to navigate through landscapes known and yet to be known. Bat navigates beyond ordinary sight. And even as, let me find my little one here. And even as this picture shows, literally, bat, because it has the capacity to hang upside down, literally reframes the way that it looks at and receives the world. The ability to reframe, the ability to navigate through known and yet to be known, the ability to move through anxiety and fear with an aura of calm wisdom and confidence in oneself. Those are the gifts that BAT is offering to us this month. I strongly encourage you to take advantage of those potencies. You might need to move through a little bit of stuff. I know I did in terms of BAT as a power animal. Oftentimes, particularly through society, we have been conditioned to see some animals as great power animals. You know, everybody wants a lion or an eagle. Not everybody wants to work with a bat or a spider, for example. But each power animal, just as each human, carries a wealth of wisdoms and possibilities. I would encourage you to look for pictures that allow you to access the majesty, such as this one, or perhaps one that just allows you to be with the whimsical, like that one, or even one that allows you to blend the magics of the moon, the bat, and some flowers. Be curious. Find a picture that speaks to you and use that to be in your line of vision on a daily basis to remind you that the wisdoms and the strengths and the calm certainty of BAT is here to help you navigate. You can call on BAT to continue deepening your capacity to bring in change that can be welcomed and enjoyed, especially around those places and spaces where you do need to make some changes in your relationship with yourself. Usually the first place that I recommend starting, because from you all other things flow. You might want to take a look at the patterns or habits that you have around your work-life balance. Maybe you need to look at the dietary choices or the way you move your body being. Maybe it's time to take a look at how the space that surrounds you is set up. There's any number of possibilities. And what BAT brings in is a sense of willingness, a sense of capacity and capability to start making these changes. Just as BAT is small and mighty, the changes that you can start to work with over this month can be small and yet have potent ripples. This isn't a time to do major overhauls or major life decisions. This is a time of taking space to sit with yourself, to bring in bat, your guides and guardians, to be in a place of curiosity and compassion, and to ask, what would like to have little nudges, little changes that could bring some greater joy and lightness of being into my life? That's how to sit with these times and with these energies. Let's take a moment now to do a little journey to be able to connect with your bat and to make that spiritual, energetic connection and capacity to carry you through the month. So let's take a minute then to bring ourselves to this here and now. Make sure your feet are on the floor. And with a breath, you bring your attention to here. There's nowhere else for you to be, nothing else that you need to do. The moment is here. We call in the guides and guardians that are in this sacred space to help us make this connection. And as you begin to settle more into this here and now, begin to see, sense, or imagine in a way that has meaning for you, a sacred mist forming in front of you. Let this mist carry the colors, perhaps a scent, perhaps a sensation, as it continues to develop in front of you. Know that the sacred mist is created by all who love you across the realms and carries with it the energies, intentions, and infusions that help to heal and balance you. Let that mist approach and surround you now. Feel it gently moving through all aspects of your being, clearing, cleansing, blessing, and loving you. Perhaps even take a breath or two that breathes this mist even more deeply into your being, feeling reassured, safe, renewed, and refreshed. Allow the mist then to begin to dissipate in front of your mind's eye. And as you do, you step onto a forest path. This pathway leads you through a beautiful forest with tall evergreens and majestic oaks. There are tall waving grasses and field flowers. It is a beautiful, beautiful space. See, sense, or imagine the path beneath your feet making crunching sounds as you walk. Realize that there is a beautiful full moon which illuminates this space as if it were the middle of the day. You walk along this forest path until you reach a ledge. A ledge looks down onto the valley below. And because the moon is so very bright, everything is as clear to you as if it were the middle of the day. You become aware that at some distance to you, there is a long overhanging branch that dangles over the ledge. And as you look upon it, you see the bat. You may see a single bat. You may see a number of bats. You may see that there are many bats. And as your attention deepens, you see that below you on the ledge to the left, there is a special opening. This is a sacred opening to the cavern of the bats. This is a sacred space that carries much wisdom and insight. You do not feel any fear because you understand that all are here to aid and assist you. Allow the illumination of the full moon to fall upon the bat that will be working with you this month, and allow yourself to see, sense, or imagine the beauty and depth and wisdom in the bat's eyes as it gazes upon you. Feel the love connection and the light connection that is between you, for you have chosen one another prior to even incarnating upon this lifetime, in this body, and in this space and time. Feel the recognition of souls with one another who have known one another before and know one another again now. Let that show you the way in which it will enter into your energy field. Perhaps it pops onto your shoulder. Perhaps it stays at a distance from you. Perhaps you sense it in your third eye. Allow a moment now just for that soul deep communion between your eyes and the eyes of the bat that has stepped forth as your power animal to infuse you with light and love now. Perhaps now, if it feels right and light for you, you may imagine, see, sense, or feel in a way that has meaning for you. That bat perhaps wishes to pop upon your hand to look at you more closely, or to be on your shoulder so as to whisper wisdoms into your ear. Allow it to be as it will be. There's no right or wrong way to imagine, see, sense, or feel your power animal. And be open to the curiosity of understanding that there will be evolution of this sacred contract and communication between you. It is time now to return to our ordinary time and space. Allow BAT to rejoin its companions, or perhaps to replace itself on the log that you saw the branch, and come back now, turning back the way you came, following along the path, seeing the sacred mist ahead of you, entering into the mist, and with a deep breath, coming back completely into this time and this space, all back, all back, all back. Alrighty. As I usually suggest when we're working with the energies of the new moon, it's appropriate and helpful for you to take the next day or two, because the ripples last for more than just the day of, and take that time to make a list, perhaps inside of yourself or actually on pen and paper, where you identify the areas that you would be willing to navigate some change into, and then work with the energy of that. I do, as always, encourage you to get these little pictures that work for you and have them around your space and your place, particularly the place where you journal or you do self reflection. It's helpful to have the visual reminder to call upon the gifts and the guidance that BAT offers to you. As always, it has been my pleasure to share this information and journey with you. Until we meet again, blessed be.